Welcome to Between the Bags of Boards. I'm Matt.
And I'm Kurt, and today we're going to be looking at Journey into Mystery, issue number 646. Journey into Mystery, issue 646 by Kathryn, Immonen, and Valerio Schiti takes the series in an entirely new direction from Kieran Gillen's run. The issue begins with Sif saving people from the flames with Sir Tur's attack. That entire story can be found within the Everything Burns crossover between the mighty Thor and Journey. Sif saves one of Volstag's children from the burning Asgardian library and later attends a reciprocatory dinner at Volstag's house. There she laments at how Asgard seems to consider simply surviving an attack as being victorious. She believes Asgard is losing touch with its old warrior roots. Feeling inadequate compared to the old Asgardian warrior tales she remembers, Sif heads in search of wisdom that will allow her to become like a warrior of old. She first heads to Niflheim, where she meets with Nidhogg, the Corpse Eater. She asks Nidhogg to recall a battle with warriors who fought so fiercely that they seem not to be men at all. Surprised that Sif desires to know the ancient warrior's trick, Nidhogg nonetheless points Sif towards their teacher. Following classic Asgardian directions of walking past or through areas the reader has never heard of, such as the Well of Helgelmir, Sif arrives at the intended location and calls forth the teacher, who immediately calls Sif unworthy. What follows is a show of strength between the two as Sif tries to demonstrate her worthiness. Eventually the teacher bestows a gift on Sif that causes an immediate change in Sif's demeanor. Sif complains of a deep hunger as she beheads the teacher before heading back to Midgard, leaving a trail of blood behind. Is this the beginning of a darker, less noble Sif?
I definitely think it is taking a turn for Sif to become a much darker character. I don't know if it's a completely original storyline, because I feel like at this point she's almost just becoming a Disir, somewhat bloodthirsty. I guess she's not eating them, so that's slightly different.
That's something. I mean, the Disir now are supposedly cured, so maybe you just always need someone like that around in Asgard. And I think it would be a little bit more interesting than what I originally expected this series to go to. For just following Sif, I expected just female version of Thor. But if they have sort of a darker twist to it, maybe this series has a lot more potential than I originally thought it would.
She kind of makes the argument that Asgard's kind of grown weak, and that they're happy just surviving rather than winning. But personally, I don't think they've actually grown weak from like the warrior perspective, because I think Thor is still amazing, and then like Heimdall is still strong, and I think really it's more their leadership that's failed them, like Odin self-exiling. So I don't know if making yourself a stronger warrior is the solution to their problems.
That really does bring to light the difference between this run and Kieran Gillen's run, which Loki was a completely non-violent hero. I don't think he ever used violence to fight anything. He just used his schemes. And so Sif is just going straight at it with violence off the bat. What do you think about that?
Well, I mean, I really enjoyed Gillen's run, so I don't think it's fair to compare to this one. But again, Loki is just a different kind of comic book character. I don't want to use the term hero because... but he's just very different, like he's not the kind of guy who could just beat everybody up. Yeah. So he has to use schemes. But at the same time, schemes are somewhat more interesting, I think, because in most comic books, you just see heroes beat up bad guys.
That's true. If Sif becomes a bad guy, I think this could be an interesting story. If she's just going to be, like I said, a female version of Thor, I don't think I'll be very interested in this story. One thing I want to highlight before we give our grades out is that Kieran Gillen's run, what I loved about it was how funny Loki was and how funny everything was. And this series does try to continue that. I think there was a really good comment about the bloody cairn, which was supposed to be the Red Cross. That made me laugh.
Yeah.
And Nidhogg's exchange with Sif was also, an attempt at humor, and I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, like Journey, they keep it light, even though sometimes the topics are pretty heavy.
Yeah. So, grade.
As a grade, I didn't really like this one all that much, so I'm going to give it a 2.5.
Okay. I'm going to give this a 3.5. I love Asgard, and right now this is set up for something that could really be cool if they take Sif down a different route than what is characteristic.
So we're sealing up this issue of Between the Bags and Boards.
But before we do that, we have a question for you. In the last run, what made Journey so amazing was the supporting cast along with Loki. So what other characters would you like to see accompany Sif on her adventures?
Leave your answer below in the comments, or contact us via email or Twitter. Also check out our Tumblr page, and please subscribe to our channel and like our videos. Thanks!